Testing, testing. Check 1, 2. Check 1, 2. Check 1, 2. All right, so what we have here is a mempo, which is basically the lower half of a mask that a samurai might wear, and they're supposed to be very fanciful, ferocious, and this theme going on here is that of a tiger. So I wanted to do this all from the start, record everything from the start, and originally this was just going to be a quick sketch that I was going to base the the final version on, but everything I laid down worked out really well, so I decided to keep it. Right now, what we're doing is we're extending the mount back here. There's going to be teeth up and down, and I'm trying to, some of this stuff I'm going to clean some of this up, but some of it it's still going to be pretty rough looking, as if it were, you know, rough hewn metal, by somebody making it by hand in feudal Japan. So what I've done is I colored parts of the mask. The back is blue, and then this stripe is yellow because I couldn't mask them both. I was going to mask and inflate, and I couldn't do those both at the same time. So I gave them to poly groups and got rid of this poly group so that whatever I do here won't affect the back of the mask. Um, if I just mask by hue here, da-da-da-da. Let's see. Let's undo that. Undo that. Mask by saturation. All right, that's probably the way to go. But you see, if I just then go to deformation and inflate, it looks like even line there, but it's not. It's really rough, and this part will be pretty precise. So I'm going to show you a technique that I use to get nearly perfect lines up. I'm going to have a tutorial on this. I'm going to expand it into a tutorial and call it how to get perfect panel cuts in the ZBrush. So look for that one, or just watch it now because I'm doing it now. So basically, we have the mask and it's rough in place. you know, when I lay down the color, it wasn't completely even. So you're getting places like that that are being overmasked. So we're going to manually draw in the mask here, or lack thereof. Um, the problem is, you know, even that's going to be janky. What we want to do is average out to a middle line that I can follow closely. Um, and to do that, we go to masking, and we shrink mask, shrink, oh, no, grow mask, grow mask, grow, 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 grow. Then we sharpen mask. Let's do that again, grow, 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 grow. Sharpen mask. Oops, I put shrink mask. Let's not do that. Sharpen mask. I went too far. That only that is available now. I'm gonna go back here a bit. All right, so basically, you can see that averages out the middle line. If I go through here and connect and go through here, I'll get a line that's nearly perfectly smooth and even. And you know, to get it really good, we're going to have to go over it a couple of times. So let's do that now. And I'm still suffering some hand tremors, most likely from, it's a side effect of some of the medication I'm on. All right, so we went out of bounds there. Again, we're going to do this a couple of times to get it perfect. I'm trying to keep to the center line as much as possible. You know, in places it's a bit imaginary where the center line is, but I'm doing my best. So that's more even and a little more smooth. There's some size issues there. I might turn that off. So we're gonna go through this a couple times. Grow mask, grow mask, grow mask, sharpen mask, sharpen mask, sharpen mask. And now you can see there's a middle line almost all the way throughout it. So it's very even, or at least it's getting there. All right. What can I do? Why is my... Oh, I don't have my presets loaded. All right. We'll do that later. Off camera. So you can see I kind of went off track there. So I'm going to do a little bit of, oops, a little bit of scrubbing back and forth here. So we're getting very close to exactly what we want. It is a bit time consuming, but you know, for the parts that you want to pay attention for, especially if this were a cyborg instead of, you know, like a handcrafted metal plate, you'd want it absolutely perfect. It can be a little more rough hewn because, you know, this is something that was built by craftsmen rather than coming off the factory line. But I want this part in particular to be nearly perfect. At the same time, you don't want to become entirely obsessed with it, because perfection, of course, is the enemy of progress. I'm gonna make the draw size just a little bit bigger so I don't have to press so hard. Oops. I think on the next pass I'm gonna extend my lazy mouse. We're getting there. Basically, what tells the tale is that sharpen mask, so you can see better where the rough spots are. All right, oh yeah, the lazy radius. Well, this is for the control. All right, let's try that. So 40 was the magic number for the lazy mouse setting. Nope. I don't really consider myself an artist yet. So you got to make up in time what you lack for in skill yet. Looks like we're almost there. So if you don't like long process videos, this probably isn't going to be for videos I'm going to do on creating this samurai. But for people who want to see everything that's involved for sort of a novice to make something that looks good, this might be very useful. Oops. Rub in. There's a bit of a problem here where, you know, the different coloring makes them look different. As far as I'm going to go on that. Let's see how it looks when everything's the same color. I'll mention now that the way I got to this point was I took like one of the standard male models, masked off that part of his face and extruded it and then separated it according to masking. Then I made it a die mesh so that it was solid in the back, and I basically pushed and pulled and until it had the shape I wanted. And then I went to ArtStation and bought some fur brushes, and I just started laying them in. I did some back here that I was less happy with, so I erased all those. But this, you know, sometimes you just get lucky when you lay things in, and yeah, that's definitely what happened there. I hadn't even been, you know, really cognizant of what I was doing, and it just turned out well. At least I think it turned out well. So, all right. So first we're gonna try. Uh, we do have a bit of an issue here. If you see it from the side, it looks like it's not perfect. Of course, that's because of a change in elevation, basically. So let's see. I'm going to try to knock that down a little bit. Or maybe a lot of it. Again, for stuff that's, you know, handcrafted metalwork, you want it to look a little rough. And that's why I really like the trim dynamic for this sort of thing. When you're starting out and you don't really have an eye for what's smooth or contoured, or, you know, where the planes are running, what you want to do is look at the highlights. So here, highlighted, this is pretty much at the same level as this here, it doesn't have the same highlight, so it's elevated beyond this part and this part. So to get an easy or a better transition between the two, what I'm doing is just trying to get the same, I guess, value. And where you want it to look like hammered metal, you want a kind of a more profound transition, not something as smooth as what I'm doing here. All right, so let's see it from the side. It's still. Let's go ahead. I don't even know if this is going to be the best of solutions for this, but my issue I'm having is I don't like that this part looks so narrow from this angle. I want it to have the same thickness all the way around. which, you know, might not even be possible. At the very least, it's going to be pretty difficult. Samurai's head will be turning left and right rather than up and down. So what I'm going to do is the same thing I did before, only with an eye to make it as wide here. And then I'll go, I'm going to go back and forth, trying to average it out so that it's the same, it looks like it's the same thickness from every angle. That's the plan anyways. Oh, we had it at an 8 last time. And what's going on? Nope, that's, well, let's see. Nope. Again, some of this stuff is going to be slow going, and some of it I'm just going to fly by the seat of my pants on. But this, in particular, I'm very particular about how I want it to look. Oops. So not only are we changing the width, but in order for this to work, we also have to work the curve back. So before it was too straight up and down. In this perspective, it's not going to change too much the more we move it back. So we can get the effect we're looking for by moving this back. I just don't know how. I kind of want it to be pretty extreme. Huh. I was expecting that to be a little thicker. My eyes are playing tricks on me. This is getting out of hand, and now I'm wishing I hadn't televised it. All right, but we're getting here. You see, we made radical changes and that perspective, and the the front perspective aren't that radical. It gets a little too thin here. That, but basically, that a lot of what I do is just averaging things out until they look okay. It's not, it's an evolutionary process rather than an artistic process. So it looks good from this angle. It looks better from this angle, but than it was anyways. Not that it looks better than the front angle. What I really want is something like that. Why isn't that? I kind of want it to look the same here as it does here. In terms of size and shape and negative space. I might have been better at this point. I think I might have been better off creating an alpha, but I don't know if that would solve the problem of, being distorted between the that's being distorted in different views. What am I at here? Where's my draw size? Sometimes it helps to jump back and forth between negative space and or not negative space, but between the masks. You want to kind of invert the mask so you get a different perspective. Is not the right word because that can be taken literally in art terms. Just kind of refresh your view. See it by switching between positive and negative masks. So it's a little less good from the front. If I move this back out a bit, let's do that now. It might look a little better. Yeah. So it looks a little less better from the front and a lot better from the side. I'm going to work on it front a little bit more, and just to get the right mix of trade-off. closer and closer to something I want here. Again, my process right now, you know, because I'm still kind of a novice at this, is more evolutionary than artistic. Try a couple of things, go back and forth, and just kind of mess around with what works. Nope. All right, I'm satisfied with that. So that was 30 minutes. All right. The rest of the mask probably only took me about 30 minutes. That's an exaggeration. It took me longer than that. These are the exact same there, so we're going to go into overtime here. Okay, I'm good with that. I'm kind of good with that. Whenever I'm not super good, um, I save it just in case I have to backtrack. Deformation. Let's see what inflate balloon does, because this is kind of like a gums of the tire. The gums up here are kind of like they're being curled back. I like that better. Let's do this. Huh, inflate balloon is a lot larger, I guess. going to smooth it out a little bit. I should do that with the mask on, perhaps. Let's do this procedurally. Smooth 5. No. Smooth 50. It's not great. What does relax do? That's good. Too high value though. Wow, that still looks real janky. Let's see if I can do it manually. Yeah, there's like, it gets fat here and fat here, it tapers there. Okay, I'm no longer happy with this, so I'm gonna have to fix it. Oops. What if instead of smooth, I try trim dynamic? Okay, that's not bad. We've got a lot of nice lines here, and not all of it was intentional, but one of the earliest lessons I learned in high school, or no, it was college at that time. You want like sweeping forms opposing each other. So you've got this one going here, this one going opposite. These, not entirely opposite, but dramatically opposed somehow. This is going up, this is going down, this is sweeping this way, this is sweeping that way. And I'm going to try to carry the same thing out through the nose. I'm not done with the nose yet. Well, I'm not done with any of it. All this stuff is going to get some redoing there. Looks like we... so I got the gums put in. The remainder of the gums put in. And that's where we're at. With, I'm going to probably wrap this up in an hour and then do some of the stuff off screen. I got to turn the air conditioning on. And if I were to do that on stream, you wouldn't be able to hear me. I'm going to go look at Art Station real quick. I know it's cheating. As an artist, you should always cheat. I'm going to look to see if there are any teeth inserts that I can use. And of course there's plenty. Why am I not in the... Okay. I don't think I'm going to download any of these. I'm just going to use them for reference. I know you can't see what I'm saying, but basically I went to ArtStation, to the marketplace, and now I'm looking for any sort of teeth mesh inserts. And for some reason I'm getting a lot of base meshes. It's interesting. There isn't really... like individual tooths. I saw one. Everything else is coming up base meshes. All right. Since I only have to... basically do half there. I'm going to create my own mesh insert. So this says thick plane. I'm skeptical. Plane 3D. Still not big enough. I don't know, some of this stuff I'm still new to. I'm just going to draw it on a cube, I guess. I'm going to use some of my Art Station. I only really got one viable hit. And I'm just going to look at it and use it for reference. Alright, how much time do we have left? Exactly 15 minutes. Okay. Make Polymesh 3D. Why is my... Oh, the resolution is probably way too small. Yeah. Yep. All right. Let's divide this 100 million times. I like using clay tubes because they're kind of rough to begin with. That's kind of the thing I find helps is to sketch something in so your mind can kind of fill in the gaps. If I were doing this with standard, there's really not much there, to visualize, to build upon, and kind of, again, I work by averaging things out, and I can't average that out in my mind. It's all too clumped together. But this, I can kind of see different lines and sweeps and, height. I'm not entirely sure if that's maybe a little too much hook. That might be better. And you can see it's tapering down there, so we're going to put some rings around it that are also going to give us an idea of how the gum interacts with it. It should be more straight across, I think. Alright, I'm pretty satisfied with that, just, in terms of blocking it in. Let's go down a little bit. I should have converted this to a, well, I can still do that. Convert it to a Dynamesh. Huh. Now I can't. Let's see if I can bring it back. The ZBrush just crashed. Nope. Seriously? Alright, so quick save is a misnomer in the sense that it's not going to save me at all. The closest I can get to where I was at is just to load the last save, essentially, I guess, which is what, 3A? Yeah, so that's when we just created a gum line there. And I don't know what I did to it after. Okay, so it's still just masked. Alright, well, that's as good as any place to stop. I guess it's 8 minutes early, but at the same time, a little disheartening in that I'm going to do all this over again and the bit of teeth that I started. Alright, thanks for watching. And again, check out the tutorial I'm going to make about, how to do this exact same thing. I guess there's no need to check it out if you've already watched this. But anyways, I appreciate your viewership and all the kind comments. Thank you. Bye.